Hey Phoenixes, I just wanted to give you one final update about what happened at the final pretrial, okay? So I was trying to hold my ex into contempt of a restraining order, and I went and visited my lawyer, and she told me that it was really, really hard to win these type of cases because you have to have really strong evidence. You have to have evidence of them either physically assaulting you with pictures of bruises or having the bruises on you, or you had to have video of them doing it. It's really, really hard to win these types of cases. And what I had was screenshots and just my verbal testimony. And she's like, I've been doing this for a while. I've had women from all different types. She was telling me different scenarios of what she had, and she had some pretty heavy stuff, and she was having such a hard time even winning those cases and getting the courts to do anything about it. So she told me she's like, my best advice for you, I don't want to take your money. You can probably find a lawyer who's going to take your money, but I don't want to take your money. You should save your mental health, save your time, just forget this guy, go down there and drop your case. That's going to be the best thing to do. Just move on and ignore him. If he does anything more to you, just ignore him. So I thanked her and I took her advice. I went down to the courthouse and filed a dismissal. And they kept the same court date for the next pretrial as the dismissal. So today was actually the pretrial for the dismissal. And it actually went really, really well. It was only under about 5 minutes. And I think the judge and my ex's lawyer were both really impressed with me. He actually ended up getting a lawyer, even though he said he couldn't afford a lawyer. So I must have intimidated him a little bit. But yeah, the judge came on and asked me if I wanted to dismiss my case. And I said, yes, Your Honor, I do. And then she brought on the lawyer. She's like, I'm not going to bring in the other party yet. I just want to bring on his lawyer and just have a little talk with the both of you. So she brought on his lawyer, and his lawyer said that he got my letter about the dismissal and that the final thing in question was the legal fees. My ex was trying to get legal fees. And he really used this lawyer to try to harass me. He said he was going to try to get me to go for a psychological evaluation, and that he didn't even know about the restraining order when he was actually at the restraining order. The first date, he was actually there, and he agreed to everything. He agreed to not hack my account anymore. He agreed to stay away from me. He agreed to all the stipulations. So he was like totally lying and said he was never served and didn't know about it. So, so the lawyer was like, yeah, the last thing in question is legal fees. And the judge said, well, we don't award any fees in domestic violence cases unless there's anything else pending that I don't know about. And his lawyer couldn't say anything to that. Like, yeah, this is just regarding the protection order. So the judge came out again and asked me if I was going to self-represent. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to self-represent. She's like, you have every right to get a lawyer if you want it. I'm like, I just wanted to push forward and get this done with. Just be done with this chapter in my life. So I think the judge and the lawyer were both really impressed that I self-represented. And the lawyer actually came back on and was like, I just want to thank you for handling this the way you did. You really handled it well. And the judge came on. She said, yes, I'll dismiss your case. And we're done here. There's no fees awarded. We're done here. And then the trial was over. It was literally 5 minutes or less. And I walked away feeling pretty good. I didn't get exactly what I wanted out of it, but I felt like in my own way, I still held him accountable. I used my voice, and he spent money on a lawyer that he didn't really need to because I was going to drop the case anyway. And he showed how nasty he is by trying to say I needed a psychological evaluation and denying that he knew anything about the restraining order when he knew about it the whole time. And the way he acted after the restraining order, stalking me, coming to my YouTube page, listening to these and responding on them in different accounts. I didn't tell the court all of that, but he's been acting insane since I met him, but so yeah, it's over and I feel good about it. I feel like I've walked away with more self-esteem than I started. I feel empowered. I didn't get exactly what I wanted, but I walked away feeling good. And, the lawyer congratulated me on the way I handled it. And I think they were both impressed that I was self-represented and I did a good job representing myself. I actually wrote a letter to the lawyers saying I was going to dismiss the case. And I wrote it very professional, probably like a lawyer would. And I could just tell when his lawyer was on, I could just tell he was a little bit nervous. I don't want to say he was intimidated by me, but that's kind of what came off a little bit. Like he was a little bit nervous and maybe surprised that I was self-representing. So yeah, I feel good. I came out of it and I feel good about it, but I still feel discouraged as a victim coming forward to report this kind of abuse because it's very hard to prove. This is what I take away. It's very hard to prove. And most courts just won't take you seriously. So, that's just how it is, unfortunately. Our legal system doesn't really support victims very well. And ultimately, you have to find your own peace and empower yourself, and that's what I take away. The court didn't help me, but I helped myself. I still found my voice. I still tried to hold him accountable. I did the best I could with the situation I had and the tools that I had. So, yeah, that's that. And I'm moving on with my life. I'm really excited for my life. I got some great things coming. Yeah, all right. This is what I wanted to share, what happened at the final pretrial, and it's officially over. I'm done with that chapter of my life. I'm putting a nail in that coffin. Bam! And I'm moving on. So yeah, I'm feeling good today. And, I'm just ready for the next journey of my life, ready to have, a good, fulfilling rest of my life. So yeah, all right. Just want to share that, Phoenixes. Keep rising. Don't be afraid to try to use the court and legal system. That's what we have. You just do the best with it that you can. I don't want to say don't go and get representation because each county, each city is different. You never know what you're going to get. This is just what I got this time. I have had the legal system work for me before in a prior case. Different city, same state, but different city. So it's just different from city to city. So, all right. Love you so much, Phoenixes. Keep rising. And yeah, just keep being happy. I'm just going to keep being happy and moving on. All right. Bye.